Well, tonight, after the arrest of former Prince Andrew, now the former UK ambassador to the U.S., Peter Mandelson, has been arrested for possible misconduct in public office. Authorities say emails uncovered in the Jeffrey Epstein file suggest he may have leaked confidential government documents to Epstein.
Today, I bring you news from a parallel universe. News that is guaranteed to have Trump sweating. A former UK ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, has been arrested due to revelations about his relationship with Donald Trump's bestie, a Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. For context, Peter Mandelson was the UK's ambassador to the US between February and September of last year, and has close ties with Trump's government, and was instrumental in organising the UK's exemptions to Trump's crazy tariff roulette. You're watching Raw America, where we bring you news that is as raw as it is palatable. As Raw's resident UK expert, and I assure you I am an expert on being from the UK, I'm here to break down this absolute shite show. Please consider subscribing and let's dive in. It has been fascinating watching the different approaches on both sides of the pond to these seismic revelations contained in the Epstein files. In the UK, people you would think untouchable are being bundled into police cars and photographed looking very grim by some crafty journalists with lenses longer than Donald Trump's nose would be if Pinocchio rules applied to him. On the US side, nothing has happened, despite Trump appearing about 1 billion times per page. In fact, Trump's name is plastered so many times all over the Epstein files, it's a surprise Trump hasn't tried to turn them into luxury condos. Shockwaves were sent through the world recently when Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, was arrested by UK police, leading to people asking why US police couldn't do the same with Donald J. Trump, formerly known as that twat from The Apprentice.
We are following breaking news in London, where a former UK ambassador to the U.S., Peter Mandelson, was just arrested on suspicion of misconduct while in public office.
New video shows police leading
US police like, misconduct in public office? Well, what's that?
him out of his London
I ain't heard of
home.
such
And
a
earlier
thing.
this month, UK police launched an investigation into the longtime British politician and his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Today's arrest comes just days after former Prince Andrew was taken into custody for the same offense and then later released. NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez joins us live from our London bureau. Raf, first off, what are the details about Mandelson's alleged ties to Epstein?
So, Morgan, this is a fast-moving situation, and at this point, British police are not giving out many details. They are just saying that Mandelson was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, so suspicion that he abused his position as a public official. They aren't going into the details behind what is underneath that allegation. What we do know, separately, from the vast trove of documents released by the Department of Justice, is that Mandelson had a very long-running relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Mandelson is someone who has been on the political scene here in the UK since the late 90s. We don't know exactly how or when he and Epstein met, but we do know, according to these emails, it appears Epstein sent Mandelson around $75,000 in the period between 2003 and 2004. And
Well, that's all right then. I mean, that's fine.
later on in 2010, when Mandelson was an extremely senior member of the British government, he sent Epstein, according to these files, details of internal British government deliberations about how to
Who didn't Jeffrey Epstein have access to? Why wasn't I offered
deal
$75,000?
with the financial crisis of 2008, sparked by the collapse of Lehman Brothers. So again, we do not know the details of what it is police suspect, but this long-standing relationship is well documented in the Epstein files. Guys.
Raf, what more can you tell us about the two search warrants that police carried out related to the
I will say that other articles I've read have gone a bit more into basically saying, again, there's not a huge amount of detail on it, but it seems like from the Epstein files that have been released, Mandelson was potentially passing Epstein very controversial internal UK government information about, upcoming reactions to the economic crisis, internal government shit that, maybe could be used to play the stock market or to consolidate soft power or whatever the hell else a freak like Jeffrey Epstein is up to.
the arrest of Mandelson?
So, Vicky, one of those searches was at Mandelson's home here in London. It's an area of North London. It's called Camden. The other search warrant is at his country address. That's in Wiltshire. That is west of...
That will be why I was never, offered money by Jeffrey Epstein. I've only got one address. You obviously have to be somebody who has a city and a country address.
London. We don't know at this point exactly what it is police are looking for, but as in the case with former Prince Andrew, you see police making this arrest and then carrying out these large-scale searches on multiple residences looking for different kinds of evidence. Guys?
How similar, Raf, does this investigation and really the allegations that kicked it off seem to be compared to the ones surrounding former Prince Andrew?
It's really interesting, Morgan. It is the same offense in both cases cited by police, misconduct in public office. Again, you are seeing the arrest of a very high-profile individual. At this point, neither of these men have been charged, but you are seeing these extensive searches of their multiple properties. Just a reminder, former Prince Andrew was arrested last week. He has been released on bail now by police. No charges have been brought against him at this point, and it is very possible that we will see a similar situation with Peter Mandelson, where he is released.
This picture is, if you look up karma in a dictionary, this picture is
tonight or tomorrow,
some of the way towards it.
And then we will all wait and see whether or not he faces charges. Guys?
Interestingly, Trump has already tried to downplay his link to yet another Epstein honcho as far back as September, when he very convincingly claimed that he didn't know who Peter Mandelson was.
Finally, if I may, the elephant in the room, Lord Mandelson. He is no longer the ambassador. Do you have some sympathy with him that he lost his job over historic links to Jeffrey Epstein? Thank you very much, sir.
I don't know him, actually. I had heard that, and I think maybe the Prime Minister would be better speaking of that. That was a choice that he made, and I don't know. What is your answer to that?
Well, I mean, it's very straightforward. Some information came to light last week which wasn't available when he was appointed, and I made a decision.
This, of course, is taken from the Trump Genius playbook of criminal defense. I don't know who that is. It's foolproof in court. If somebody says, well, here's a murder weapon and it has your prints on it, I don't know that murder weapon. I've never met it. Maybe this defense would have been convincing if Peter Mandelson wasn't literally the UK's ambassador to the USA, if his job wasn't literally interacting with Donald Trump, and if he hadn't have been photographed literally shaking his fucking hand. Even for Donald Trump's Swiss cheese brain, this one seems a bit of a stretch. Trump made those comments after Mandelson was initially fired for his Epstein links, meaning he was already trying to distance himself from yet another Epstein-related controversy. Of course, the UK ambassador to the US getting that gig whilst being a known associate of Epstein, and then being discovered to have leaked sensitive internal government information to Trump's pedo pen pal, has caused quite the scandal in the UK, as you might expect. In a shocking update, UK government is now promising to release their own set of files related to Mandelson's hiring as US ambassador. This kind of transparency is essential because the more information that is revealed around Epstein, the more the web expands to reveal all the activities that Epstein was up to. The more likely his associates are to get exposed for their role in his shocking criminal empire. Which, you have to imagine, has people like Donald Trump shaking in their adult nappies. I'm British Chris, and this is Raw America.